Hey, Alex.
Hey, Andrew.
What's this?
This is Brains on the Outside.
And what's Brains on the Outside?
Well, Andrew, Brains on the Outside is an extremely funny business ideas podcast.
You sound unsure, but I'm pretty confident that you're right. And that, in fact, once a week we come up with ridiculous business ideas such as
an edible drone that you can use in the office to steal someone else's lunch and then eat the whole thing and destroy all the evidence of your crimes.
It's so Machiavelli and it creates such unnecessary beef in your workplace. But it's still great.
Maybe you're hungry, though.
I have two really great ideas for the day. One of which we were going to do last week, but we got sidetracked. We were talking about wine flight hats. So that was a big distraction for us. But we'll do that week's true idea right now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's not even get distracted. Let's go in for it. I mean, that wine flight hat idea was good.
God,
though.
no. So Alex, you again suck back in. It's because you'd have so much wine at hand at all times, right?
Yeah.
You'd have a Chardonnay. Another Chardonnay.
I want a canapes hat as well. I want stackable hats.
Oh, we're slipping, Alex. Are you familiar with the concept of a main character?
Like in a TV show or film?
Yes, but extending that to real life. It kind of is like a term the youths use to mean like, an outgoing type A personality person, like the main character in a room, or like you are the main character in your own life, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. You mean like the Twitter main character?
Yes, like every day there is a main character on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the game is never be that person.
Yeah.
You never want to be the main character of Twitter.
I remember that, like the Bean Dad.
The Bean Dad was the main character. That happened years ago. That's like I felt so old when I realized the Bean Dad content is very like some people just won't be familiar with it. So, but don't worry, guys.
Okay. Google it. It's fine.
In every situation, though, there is a main character. Like if you're in the supermarket, there is a main character. There's a person who's the most memorable person in that supermarket.
That's a bold claim. That's an interesting thing that I'd not thought about before. So you're saying in every situation is basically a scene from a film or TV show, and there is somebody who is the main character in that scene at all times. In a
sense, yes. And so at a party, there'll be the main character, the person everyone talks about the day after, probably because they did something stupid because they were too drunk, Oh, yeah. And now there's a meta game when you're at a party, which is never be that person. You don't want to be the person who did the silliest thing at a party, so the morning after, everyone talks about you.
Oh, shit. So actually what you have to do is, if you start to become that person, you have to force that role onto somebody else.
So this is my service, main charactering as a service. So if you're going to a party, you can call our service and be like, right, guys, I don't want to be the main character. For some reason, I can't control myself either. Like I'm going to get pretty silly, but I need someone else there who's always one drink further along than me. So if I do something silly, they can step in and do something even crazier. So the morning after, everyone's talking about them.
Okay. How much notice do you need to be able to do this? Like, do I have to phone you the day before, or is it a week's before?
It's an Uber type, so there's an app.
Oh, so if you realize that you are becoming the main character at any one point, you hit the button, and then you, Andrew, you turn up at my door.
Yes. At the party. It gets a bit more complicated depending how many people are in the situation. If it's a really big party, then they can just walk right in because like, oh, that's just probably, I don't know who that is, but someone else must know him. But if it's like a family wedding or the Christmas dinner, it gets much more expensive as we have to craft more and more intricate lies to explain why this just walking embarrassment is now at this situation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. So do you have a toolbox of embarrassing main character things that you draw from, or is it more of an improv situation, or do you scale it based on the level of main character that you are attempting to be more main character-y than? So are you just one step above me if I'm main charactering? Are you just one step above, or are you full hog? I'm definitely being the main character, full stop. There is no
It's
stopping.
a subtle, it's an art, it's not a science, you know? So it's typically one step above, that's the baseline. So if you're like, imagine Alex, you're at a work Christmas party, and this is going to sound like passive aggressive. This really happened. It didn't. Imagine you got really drunk and started singing the song American Pie. The main character then would step in and act a bit drunker and sing the Weird Al Yankovic version of it. So it'd be more embarrassing.
Yeah, okay.
But there's also on the app, like how you have UberX or the even bigger Uber, you can have like personas.
Oh, right.
So like just a person who's very loud, or a person who won't stop talking about the latest football game, or we can kind of craft it to your needs.
Yeah, okay. I can see this. I mean, as a person who has literally never embarrassed himself in any situation ever and never been the main character ever.
Either have I.
But, I mean, I could see, for example, maybe hypothetically a situation in which I might want to call you because I have opened the fridge in someone's house and eaten an entire wheel of brie.
So yeah, this is now that was very specific, actually. Has that happened to you?
I would neither. I don't.
I guess that's the thing. It's flexible. That's why I have this Uber system. Originally, it was planning a week in advance, but now it's just it gets difficult about New Year with the surge charging, but it's going to be okay. It's interesting though you bring out eating the wheel of brie, because I think that it could be much broader. So, as I said, there's a main character everywhere. There's the potential for you to be the main character in the supermarket. You could like comically fall and like knock over a whole aisle. So you need someone then to swoop in and knock over 2 aisles to be more of an embarrassment.
Or knock over a more embarrassing aisle.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think expanding into non-party events. It's just like your normal work. You're at work and you're doing just a shit job today. Call us up and someone will come into your work and do an even worse job.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I like this because I call you up, you turn up. Maybe I'm doing my regular job of being an important business person, but I'm not doing it well, and you turn up and just you're there to just do some caretaking, but you just really fuck it up. Like you screw in the wrong light bulbs and it explodes. You fall off a ladder. You just to take all the attention away from me. There's a million places where I would want this.
Now, again, it's in my head, the great thing is the flexibility, where it's like, okay, one level is you call us up, we send in the caretaker who accidentally on purpose clogs all the toilets and floods the office with pee. But there's the long game where it's like, right, I'm performing pretty well right now, but I'm expecting to be really lazy in June. We will get someone in your company next week, hired in for the long game, you know? So they're baked in to the corporate structure by June, and then they can really start messing up when you start messing up as well.
I could see a lot of uses for this. I mean, in that long-term situation, I just want to take June off and have it easy. Or I want to do a no-work November or no-work December. And I just plan it in ahead. Because you're going to do even less work than me, or you're going to do such a stupid, ridiculous thing that I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's all about just deflection. It's obviously you don't want to be the main character in any situation, but it's nice to have the safety blanket. It's insurance. You know, you get your car insured, you get your house insured. You should get that bit of your life that could go horribly wrong if you embarrass yourself insured as well.
I love that because I have to do a presentation in front of 200 people next week, and I want a button underneath the podium that I can press that instantly calls you in, and you are dressed in just your underpants and you're standing at the back and I call on you to ask you a question as I'm screwing up my presentation. And I'm like, you at the back, answer this.
All the spotlights instantly on me.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think another really great service there would be you're really flopping And then you press a button, and I just go around with a recording of their worst presentation, being like, "You're laughing right now, but remember on the 14th of June 2014, that was really embarrassing for you. That was really embarrassing, that presentation you gave."
Now, Andrew, I have a concern though about this. If you are doing all of this, that's going to take an incredible emotional toll upon you. If you always have to be the worst person in every room, how are you going to cope with that?
So this is like where the circular economy comes in.
Okay.
So if things get too hot, you can always open up the app yourself and get a more embarrassing person in the situation. There's also a really good get out of jail free card, which is if it starts getting really embarrassing, you just stop and you go, "I was hired to do this, actually." And then you point to the original guy, be like, "He paid me to be an embarrassment." And then it's doubly embarrassing for you because you're like, "Oh, Alex has been messing up for the last 6 months at work, and he's also being paid, hiring an actor full time to do worse than him, to deflect." So we always have that leverage over the original person. You could pull the pin out the grenade and just reveal to the world it was all a ruse to begin with.
I think that's terrifying. The prospect of that hanging over me all the time. The ultimate destruction of my entire career, having paid for someone to be more of a fool than I am, being revealed to the world. And like, I don't know that there's a level of insurance that I would be happy with for that.
If I'm being really evil, it'd be a pay monthly service. And the thing is, once you unsubscribed, it just goes on the internet. All the receipts. Every month, the price ticks up a little bit, but it's really cheap to begin with, so you buy in pretty easy.
This is actually a horrifically amazing idea.
I feel unconstrained now. We spent 56 weeks trying to be good and wholesome, and now we've unleashed the floodgates into evil. Should we try and stop this moral decay and read out a listener business idea?
So Henry wrote in with some pretty bonkers stuff, to be honest, Andrew.
That's what we're here for. Outside brain ideas.
That's what we live for. Big outside brain ideas. And I love it. It says, my business idea would be a person who is like a printer mixed with an AI image generator. Now, I've taken that as being, they set up in a market and you can go up to them and be like, "I would like a picture of 7 cats eating a rhinoceros, and the rhinoceros looks sad, but the cats look bored." And you type that into the prompt, and then it comes up with a picture, and he prints it out for you to buy. I think that's really good.
So I actually interpreted that differently, but that reminded me of something you actually told me once. Was, did your friend, someone you knew, actually do this with a 3D printer? They had a little pop-up.
No, we talked about maybe us doing that somewhere.
Oh shit! That's why we think it's such a good idea.
That's why we think it's a good idea. Yeah, it is a really good idea.
I guess it's really capitalizing on the moment. See, I read this totally differently. This email.
There is potentially a typo in there.
So I read it as, my business idea would be a person who is like a printer mixed with an air image generator. So it'd be like a smoke machine.
Oh.
So like when Gandalf smokes his pipe and a boat comes out, it would be like that. So you'd go up to this person in the market and be like, "Hey, I want a picture of 7 cats eating some spaghetti." He'd take a hit of his vape and make that scene out of smoke in front of you.
I kind of love that, though. I like yours better, definitely. I mean, mine is my interpretation of it. Whichever one he meant, they're both really good. One is like a viable business, and the other one is a Gandalf business, and I am a big fan.
Yeah, one you could do kind of pretty easily tomorrow, and the other one would take me months and months and months of learning to vape.
How long do you think it takes you to learn to vape a pirate ship?
I think the medical implications of that much vaping would hit me before the pirate ship did. Now, there's a second half to this email, which is another layer on top of this, which is just very interesting to me. It then talks about how buying this might come with a surprise. You get a reward for buying this randomly. Now, only get this benefit if it was not referred to you. If your friend referred you this business, no, you're not getting this excellent prize.
Which is bonkers. I kind of love it.
Well, it incentivizes, like, it makes, I guess it's more exciting when you find out about this business from yourself when you're out there in the world. You're like, oh, I found it by myself. And then boom, you have a 100 chance of winning a new car. But to me, this is exciting because then, say if I got this guy, he vaped into existence a 3D version of the Mona Lisa, and I really want to tell you about it. And then it kind of means I have to find ways of incepting this idea into your head so you don't feel like it's being referred to you.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's deep. There's a lot to that. You'd have to drop like subtle hints all the time.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. Do you know what? I feel like I just saw something in a cloud up there and it kind of looked like Mona Lisa.
If only there was a service. If only there was a service for that.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, if another listener had an excellent business idea, something as outside brain as that, and like Henry, wanted to get a whole bunch of merch sent to them for giving us the idea, what would they have to do?
Well, Andrew, the best thing for them to do is to drop us a tasty, tasty little email on our email address, which is brainsontheoutside@gmail.com.
That'd be amazing if you did that. Thank you so much, Henry, for writing in. I promise I will, as soon as I can get myself to a post office, I will send you some stuff.
Yeah, if you email in, if you write in, we will send you some goodies, some merch, some stickers. It will be good. And unlike Henry's idea, we desperately want referrals.
Yes. Oh God, please do that. Please refer people.
Yeah, please tell your friends. Tell them everything. Tell them how wonderful we are. Tell them how funny this is. This episode and last week's episode have been a little bit shorter.
You know what? I actually don't think they have been shorter. I think we come in planning to make them shorter. I think they're just the same length.
Just go end up the same. Do you have a final business idea for us, Andrew?
Yes. It's buildings that are really, really, really small on the bottom, like a foot by a foot, but then get bigger and bigger and bigger as you get to the top to a normal shape of a building, so you have to pay less rent. Because there's less stuff on the ground.
That's such a good idea. Yeah. Great. Perfect.
I feel bad because actually it's not my idea. My girlfriend told me it. But keep your brain on the outside.
Keep your brain on the outside, man.